for me, Steeler Nation, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to add Justin Fields. We already have Kenny Pickett, and Steeler Nation, let's be honest, you have to try and look at the fact. The fact is, you need to look at what the coaches are saying, Art Rooney. Oh, I almost said Matt Canada, Smith, these blokes, right? You got to look at what the Steelers are saying. I understand the outside noise with the Schefters. I talked about yesterday. Adam Schefter believes Steelers will add quarterback from the outside organization. Tannehill, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. There's always going to be outside noise and speculation and rumors and all that kind of fun stuff, right? And also in this video too, I'm going to show you what you guys think in Steeler Nation being like an overall vote. Will Fields come here? But the more I see it, I think less likely it's going to happen. If the Pittsburgh Steelers go and sign Fields, you know what? Firstly, I will welcome him in. I will virtually shake his hand, give him a high five, and say, let's effing go. I hope you win the chance to be number one or at least go into competition. It could be Kenny versus Fields. I don't know. Or they could just go with Fields from the drop. But I don't believe they're going to waste any draft picks, any capital, any more money. I think Fields is going into his last year of his contract, right? And I'll talk about his stats at the very end and why it's not a reason. And I see the divide now. It's either your team, you hate Kenny Pickett, or your team give Fields a shot and bring him in to save the franchise. There's like one big divide. Today in a comment, I got called a fake fan because I support Kenny Pickett. But think about it, right? Think about it. Everyone, when Kenny was chosen, yeah, sure, there was 50-50 again. There's always going to be 50-50 in Steeler Nation. It's that massive. We're going from all around the world, from Australia to America to England to wherever, right? Always going to be 50-50. So when Kenny Pickett now, I feel like he's been thrown under the bus. But you've got to follow what the Pittsburgh Steelers want to do. And I'm not saying for me what I want to happen. I overly don't care what happens. I just want to support the team, whatever they may choose. If they go and get Ryan Tannehill, here we go. Let's see what happens, right? If they bring back Mason Rudolph, which I think will happen, by the way, then I'm ready to cheer him on for actual competition in training camp. But to say you're all in for Fields, go and get him, and he's your number one guy, and you're going to die on that hill, and then trash Kenny along the way, that's a part I don't understand. Because it's only Kenny Pickett's third year. And has he been the best quarterback in the league? No, not at all. Can he win games? Yes. Can he get better? Can Kenny get better? 100%. Now, I did ask you guys a question with a poll 5 days ago, and this was the answer we got. So 300 votes. But around Steeler Nation, a lot of Justin Fields talk. Would you like the Steelers to trade for Fields? I said, yeah, mate, being 26%. Nah, mate, was 54%. And the third option was Bengals suck. I might do another poll maybe in a few days' time, and I'll take out the Bengals part where that was like, skewing the data because I don't like the Bengals, so they're always involved in my polls. But still, 54% of you guys did say, nah, mate, we're not getting Fields. And you know why? Do you know why we're not getting Fields? It's because stuff like this. You look at, I saw this tweet on the internet too. Fields, in the first 2 seasons, he had 59.7%, 152.3 pass yards per game, 24 TDs, 21 interceptions, 76.7, 5 wins and 20 losses as a starter. So they trade for him. Pickett in the first 2 seasons, 62%, 186.4, 13 TDs, 13 interceptions, 78.8 rating, 14-10. He sucks. Now, I'm not saying that Kenny Pickett is the best quarterback in the league. That is not what I'm trying to paint the picture. What I'm pushing is everybody wants to bring Fields in to try and make this the savior, or he's the next guy. He's the franchise guy here, there, and everywhere. Trade him, bring him over. But why are we giving up on Kenny Pickett so easily? Kenny Pickett is into his 3rd year, and I do believe, here's what I want to happen. I'll be stressing this until it doesn't happen. Kenny Pickett is your guy in the room right now. No one else is there. Trubisky is out. Mason Rudolph is a free agent. I would like to see the Steelers go and pick up Mason Rudolph at quarterback number 2, possibly fight for 1. Then you go into the draft and you draft a quarterback. You get 3 quarterbacks on the roster. That's your team. Now, other guys out there, they might want to draft, they might want to trade for a quarterback. I just don't see it. Now, I saw another one too, was PFF. PWF was talking about here's what you'd have to give up and trade for Justin Fields. I don't know how accurate this is. I'm not a huge fan of PWF anyway. They're the guys that, pretty much gave Myles Garrett his Defensive Player of the Year with the advanced stats and all those metrics. Not a huge fan of PWF. Fields to the Steelers is, of course, we get Fields. We trade a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. I actually think it might be higher than that. I think it might be even chance for a first. Chance for a first could be an idea. Maybe a second, maybe a third. But I think to me, any draft right now, we need players on the offensive line. We need a middle linebacker. We need like safety help. We need corner help. Why would we want to trade away for a quarterback? Okay, we have a problem at quarterback. Yes, that is Kenny Pickett needs to do better. We need to win there. But right now as well, our team is situated around the run. We're trying to run the ball and get back to defense. I know the league doesn't go that way, but the Steelers are trying to do that. Prove me if I'm wrong in the comments. Are we not trying to run the ball with Najee and Warren and get back to hard-hitting defense? So I wouldn't even give this. I wouldn't give a second-round pick or a fifth. I wouldn't give away any draft picks at all. Lastly, here were the odds too. There were odds out there. Fields, for which team Justin Fields would take his first snap in 2024-25. So it's going into the next season, but the next season, right? Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't really understand. By the way, I don't understand the way you guys do your odds. This is in America. I'm not a big fan how you guys do it. Like plus 110, I have no idea what that means, but I do understand that's like the favorite, right? So Steelers are favorite, then Bears, Falcons, Patriots, Broncos, Commanders, Raiders, Seahawks, Buccaneers, Vikings. So the reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers are favored because they do have problems at quarterback. And here's my last point. But if you do bring in Fields, that's another problem. You've seen all his stats too. Like if I go through his stats, he is 10 for 28 and 5 for 20 starting, completion rate 60%, TDs 40 in 3 years, and interceptions 30. We have here as well sacks 135. He's been sacked. QBR is average 45. Quarterback rate is average 82. So he's not an outstanding player, and I'm not trying to pick on him too much. I just feel like that Steeler Nation has to look at what the Pittsburgh Steelers do. Do you really think that the Steelers are going to trade up with the Bears again and get another? Trubisky was a Bear quarterback, right? I just don't. Overall, I just don't think it happens, and I think we need to concede the point on the trade is just a rumor, right? It starts with Schefter, and it should end with Steeler Nation being 54% of us say no, right? But if it does happen, fine. But I don't see any real logical step how the Pittsburgh Steelers go and trade. If the Steelers go and trade for Fields, that means that the Kenny Pickett #1 draft pick, they're moving on. They'll push him to the side. They're giving up. Do you really think the Pittsburgh Steelers would do that? Not what you think, not what you want to happen, but the Steelers organization. Do you think that they will push Kenny aside and say, mate, your time's up. It's all over? I don't reckon that happens. I reckon Kenny Pickett is in the building and they bring back Mason Rudolph, or they go and get a quarterback #2 and they go into the draft. They draft a guy and you have 3 guys on the roster. I really find this stuff a bit lunacy, a bit chaotic right now in the Steeler Nation land. Very chaotic. Alrighty, guys. This to me, I'm saying this is like 1% chance it happens. I just don't see it. Fields to the Steelers with a second and a fifth. To me, it's not going to happen.